And now, Freelance Heroism presents Return to Ravenloft.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before I even get started, we just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates at the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier.
Mhm.
Rachel, would you let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Nate, Krista Hildebrand, Breakmeister, and Rebecca. Thank you so much, everyone.
We really appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you.
Yes.
And thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rachel,
Peace.
Final Fantasy 14.
hmm
How are you liking it so far?
It's really fun. I like that you can do every job, like every class on one character.
Very cool.
So you don't have to replay through the same beginner stuff over and over.
Yeah, and if you ever unlocked something on one character, you don't have to wonder which one it is or have to swap back to that one in order to do the thing you want to do,
Yes.
even though you've already done it.
Yeah.
That's kind of great.
Yeah. It's been very fun. I've been playing a lot of White Mage, which I really like, although I feel like I could really really improve my White Mage playing. So I want to look up some tutorials on how to optimize that.
Okay. I don't generally like playing healers, but I understand that they're sort of required.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So like a lot of times in WoW, I would prefer to play rogue or warrior or mage, but I get kind of stuck sometimes where it's like, you're gonna play a resto druid. I'm like, okay. Cool.
Yeah, somebody has to play healer. When we played WoW, I played a lot of DPS classes.
Yeah.
And so when we started playing Final Fantasy 14, I was like, well, I'll try a healer class, see if I like it, since I haven't really done any healing in these MMOs. And I like it. I don't do a lot of damage, so sometimes soloing is it takes a while.
Trixie.
But it's also like if I queue for a random dungeon, I instantly get a group.
Yeah, that's nice.
So,
yeah, it doesn't happen for DPSers.
yeah.
Yeah. I got Samurai today.
Yeah, I was
what
gonna
I've been
say.
hoping for the whole time.
hmm
I still like Monk a lot. I was surprised by how much. I think Monk is very good.
hmm
But Samurai is very cool. I hit a guy for 1300. Like I just became a samurai and hit a dude for 1300. Just dead. Like whole life bar gone. It was excellent.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, I mean I really like it. The other day we were doing, they have these special towers, these like kind of elite dungeons or whatever.
Yeah.
They're called deep dungeons. And they're multiple floors, 10 or 9 floors and then a boss, and then 9 floors and then a boss, right? And they do that. I think it goes 200 floors, I think is the cap.
Wow.
But we were at our first breakpoint, which is at the 50 level. And we're new and our characters aren't super high level, but
yeah. We're also a party of 3, whereas you can have up to 4 people, I believe.
Yeah, it's designed for 4 and we were doing it with 3, but we don't know any of the mechanics, we don't know any of the like really, so we're experiencing this game fresh.
Yes.
And we did really good. We got out to 49 and then we went to the boss and there was a mechanic that we didn't know.
Yeah.
And it would have been good to maybe research that before we went in.
Yeah. Although also, I mean, we got to the 50th floor like pretty quickly. It was just of like maybe 2.5 nights of gaming total to reach
on stream.
The 50th.
So about 5 hours ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was playing White Mage, so I was the healer, and like we were doing this boss fight. I was so focused on the health bars that I was like throwing up regions and like heals and stuff, and I was like I didn't know what to expect, so I was like, I want everyone to be at full health.
Right.
all of the time. And then all of a sudden something happened. I didn't know what it was because I just look in the top left corner at the health bars.
Yeah.
That's like typically where I am looking on my screen. And then all of a sudden every health bar went from full to 0. Like just I had no time to do anything.
Well, the thing, I think we had at the time 3,000-ish health, and it did 9,940 damage to me.
Yeah.
So not really healable.
It was upsetting.
But now that we looked back on it, now we know exactly what happened with the runes and everything. So now it's a solution that we have in the Rolodex, so it'd be easy to. We had that problem in the other dungeon too, the one with the sand. What is it called? The Cutter's Cry.
Cutter's Cry, yes.
That place, the first time we went in there, so many mechanics that we didn't know that the bosses were a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, but they got better the second time, and now I run it like no problem. But it's nice to not be like in World of Warcraft. When we came back, we both had like a really good familiarity with the game, so it was easy to just steamroll through stuff.
Yeah,
weren't really learning too much about anything. But it's a very different game, so it's interesting. Every so often I see something and I'm like, oh, I can handle that, and then I go to punch it a few times and I'm like, no, can't handle that one.
Yeah. Although I also feel like while there is that sort of level of sometimes you just don't know what to expect and your party might wipe at the 50th level of a dungeon, at the same time, I didn't feel like we've lost so much progress. I never want to go back to one of these dungeons again. Like we took a break from it for the rest of the evening, but I didn't feel so disheartened that I was like, I never want to do this part of the content again.
Well, there's so much stuff in the game, and I am blown away by the people, right? Like, I get that it's like sort of a manufactured positivity.
Yeah.
Via threat, right? But it does make the game more pleasant, right?
Absolutely.
So, like, there's no add-ons, right? You're not supposed to be using add-ons, right? And you're not supposed to complain at people for this and that, little things. And I think that just having that sort of policy, like up front, like at the end of every dungeon, you get to decide who the player is that made the experience the best.
Yes.
Right? So oftentimes it's like a really good tank who doesn't move too fast, doesn't move too slow. They have a good tempo. They break the room up well. They know where to stand. Like, that person gets thumbs up oftentimes. But sometimes it's just like a DPS. It's just being funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just being, like, funny the whole time. Like, they came into the dungeon dressed like, I don't know, like a fucking swamp animal or something like that. And they're just doing emotes and stuff between fights. And sometimes that's enough to,
Yeah.
It's just a positive game.
It really is. I've seen like I don't know, just people are like when we join a dungeon and it's our first time or even just like second time maybe doing it, if we say in the chat we're like, hey, we're new to this, people are typically like, oh, it's cool, or they'll stop to explain something, even if maybe like they misunderstand a mechanic themselves.
Right.
Like, but they're being helpful. Whereas in WoW, I feel like it's like people think that if you don't research every bit of like the dungeon and everything, even before you go in, then like that gives them the right to kick you if you express confusion, or if you say, hey, I don't understand how this is done. Can somebody like tell me real quick?
Yeah. There's a sort of like protectorship of new players in this game. That there is not in World of Warcraft. And
Yes.
There's a thing that happens. It's sort of a cultural thing where like everyone likes the story so much in this game that the first time you go into a dungeon, you get cutscenes sometimes, right? So like when you go into a dungeon and you get a cutscene, you get next to your name this little video, like what is it called?
Yeah,
like
it tells
a video icon.
Yeah.
And it tells you that the person is watching the cutscene. and no, not one person, with the exception of Harry sometimes when he gets kind of like, gets excited and goes too fast. Like most everyone just hangs back and they just relax and let people watch the cutscene, and nobody goes. Like, it's amazing. Like, there's multiple cutscenes sometimes, and they are a hassle. I can't think of a single cutscene in a dungeon in World of Warcraft that I've ever watched. I've never been allowed to. If I don't cancel out of that cutscene and go straight into the combat, I'm going to miss the combat, and I'm going to get fucking shrieked at.
Yes.
By I'm like, dude, this is a game. You're supposed to be enjoying it. But they're actually very protective of new people watching their cutscenes because they want them to experience the game. So like I've seen people like, hey, stop.
Yeah.
They're the Sprouts watching their cutscene.
Yeah.
Because it's very cool.
If you're new to the game, you have like a little Sprout icon next to your name, so that lets people know that you're new, which I feel like if that was a thing in Warcraft, they would just use it to grief you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in Final Fantasy, it's like people know to like maybe be a little more patient with you or explain how something works.
And I find myself doing the same thing, which is cool because like when we first got there, we didn't know any of the dungeons, right?
Yeah.
And so we were obviously not optimal at the start, but we learned them relatively quickly.
Yeah.
And now it's like I go into a dungeon and I get queued down with like kind of lower level people. And I can tell that they're new. They watch the cutscene, and when they start, they don't know where to stand. They don't know where to go. And so like just through simple gesture, I've added a couple emotes to the bar, like thumbs up, thumbs down, right? So yes and no. And then I also jump. So like if there's a place that I see that this is where you're supposed to stand, I'll like jump up and down, and they like almost exclusively run to that spot. And it's so much easier than fucking getting pissed off at them. If they get hit, like this one person earlier would not get into the purple light.
Yes.
In this one dungeon, they just kept getting hit, and so like the purple light went out and it respawned somewhere else. So I like ran over to the purple light and I ran right in front of them, and jumped in front of them, and then kept going to the light and then jumped up and down in the light, and then they did it, and then they did it every time from then on.
Yeah.
They just learned the mechanic right there in front of me because I didn't fucking lose my shit at them or boot them from the party so that someone else had to deal with it.
Right. When we played WoW, I didn't talk like in chat very much. And I noticed that whenever like group like raids, or not raids, but like PvP battleground stuff was going bad, people would be like, "Oh, these people are bots." Like they would immediately like accuse you of being a bot if you didn't talk, or because they thought you were doing bad. But in Final Fantasy, I'm playing on my my PS5, so it's very like difficult and time consuming for me to type into the chat because I don't have a little keyboard, so I have to like click on the letters if I want to type in chat. So I typically don't say stuff in chat, but not once has anyone accused me of like being a bad player, or being a bot, or anything like that,
The thing though is it's not even like in WoW, it was so toxic at this point that it wasn't even tied to performance. Like there are times where like you're doing objectively better than another player and they're shitting on you. Like it's weird. Like people who scream at you for fighting in the road. It's like I was running to the other base and 6 people jumped me.
Right.
I'm trying desperately to get to the flag.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I ran into a little bit of a hiccup here.
Right.
Where I've been slowed by 2 hunters and have been feared 9 times.
And, you standing at the farm, typing in paragraphs into the instance chat, accusing me of being a bot and telling me to uninstall the game. You are not helping me at this moment.
Yeah, and it was almost exclusively people who act like that are doing the wrong thing themselves. Like I've been complained at for not being on a base on my way to a base with the guy who's typing
Oh my
next to me in combat.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just funny though, because like we do this thing where like in a random battleground where everybody's like 4 minutes into the battleground and it's all of a sudden they're all quit respawn and just
my
let
God.
let them win. It's
Right,
like, are you
the-
kidding me?
Yeah.
But like it's not like that in this game. It's everybody's pleasant, and I have not had a single person be shitty
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Nice.
Not to another person. I haven't seen it. The chat when you are like in a major town with loads of people,
Mhm.
there's no like blatant racism
Yeah.
or
which
like
what happened?
blatant sexism or
Mhm.
anything. And like if there were, they would be banned.
Yeah.
Right? It would be
Yes.
like, this is making the game unpleasant. You have to go to timeout for a while.
Yeah. I was in like one of the major cities, kind of in like the central hub area where a lot of people hang out. I think I was waiting for you and Nate, and so I was just kind of looking at like fashion is very big in this game, so I was just kind of looking at like how people were dressed differently and stuff. And these people that were role playing ran over to me and they were like, "Oh, I haven't seen many elves before," and they like tried to start role playing with me.
That's super
And
weird.
it was weird, but it wasn't like, I don't know, like I will take like awkward,
Yeah.
like attempts at
Pleasant
role playing.
nerdiness.
Pleasant nerdiness over people being racist in the world chat.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even then, like the other day, me and Nate we were like clearing out an area for his son Josh. And while we were over there, this huge like level 50 thing had spawned. We were like level 20 at the time.
Oh.
So we're like, there's no way we're going to be able to take this level 50. It's just it'll one-shot us, right?
Yeah.
So we just called out into the like area chat to let higher level players know that one of the world bosses had popped and was spawned. We were looking at it. We were like 10 feet from it.
Yeah.
And they're like, gave them the exact location just to the group chat or to the world chat, and thus went back to what we were doing. This level cap guy, like level 90 or whatever, flies in, lands, sees us, waits for us to get ready. He runs, starts to tank the boss, and then we run up to help.
Oh.
So we're fighting this world boss, just getting our hits in so we can get the points.
Right.
He's gonna do all the damage.
Yeah.
But at some point, this dragon does this AoE that it's the biggest AoE I've ever fucking seen. It was like I sprinted and ran and still didn't make it to the end. It was so huge. And it hit me and one-shotted me, and I was dead.
Oh no.
And so the other guy, Nate's dead too. Me and Nate both got hit. And then he got hit but didn't die. And so he runs all the way to town, which is right up the hill. And the boss resets. He could have easily killed this boss. But he reset the boss so that he could change jobs on the fly to a white mage, came back, rezzed us, healed us, swapped back to the original class, and goes, "You guys ready?" And then pulled the boss again so that we could get our points.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is what I'm talking about. Like that's the kind of thing I would do for another player, but I've never had that back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this game has been nothing but that. If you have to, like, I'm not saying that you should play an MMO, but if you decided you wanted to play one, I have a huge recommendation for Final Fantasy 14. It is so much better community-wise than World of Warcraft is or was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's like, it's mind-blowing to me. Like, sometimes you just walk into a town, right? Like, in the middle of nowhere, like, not a big deal town. And there's, like, 12 people sitting around just having a conversation while one person plays an instrument, and then they all clap for them when they finish.
Mm-hmm.
And then another person will get up to play, the other person will sit down, and then they'll play the song, and then they'll all listen and clap when they're done. And I'm like, what is happening? It's like a fucking it's like the campus of an art school or something. It's weird.
I think that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have been talking quite a bit about Final Fantasy XIV, so we may want to go ahead and go to this week's episode.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. This is Return to Ravenloft, episode 15.
Mm-hmm.
Cinnamimic stick.
That's what we went with?
That's what I got.
I only had a short time to come up with that, and I came up with Cinnamimic stick. God, that's gonna be a motherfucker to type.
Yeah, I think the sooner she remembers who she is, the less likely she is to do something that could inadvertently be bad for all of us.
As a person who frequently changes bodies, let me just say this. It's not something you want to do immediately. It's something you do slowly over time.
Okay.
You do something too dramatic, it can cause all kinds of schizophrenic breaks and psychological errors and losses of memories.
Okay.
I've seen people merge personalities before. This is, for now, we just want to monitor the situation to make sure nothing dangerous happens, and we'll work on it as we get more information.
All right.
Best to be patient.
Okay. I will follow your lead on this one.
Also, I'd like to be an adult before we cross this bridge.
Well, at the rate you're going, that'll be by the weekend.
I think that the adult you're thinking and the adult that I'm usually about, a little different.
Okay. Well,
how old are you?
34.
Okay, kid, let's go.
Oh my God, Rain is the baby of the group.
Rain's a little baby. He's
Yeah.
just a little droplet.
Yeah,
little droplet. He's a misty outside of a glass of water.
Yeah, but I've seen some shit, so that's added at least 10
in
or 15
his diaper. In his baby diaper when he eat his applesauce. Oh, you know what? I sometimes forget that there's another person in this house, and they have to think I'm insane. They don't hear the other side of this. They just hear me going, "Did your baby applesauce?" And then it's just like, what is going on?
Yeah, you guys haven't seen them. Looks like it from Mo.
Does your dog ever look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Every day.
Every
Every
okay.
single day.
All right.
Yeah. I talk to him like he's a person, like an actual person, and he has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. And then I have to switch to dog talk. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Quit licking that. You're gonna get rug burn on your tongue. Stop it. And he's like, huh? I'm like, don't do that.
All right.
All right. Have we found this goblin yet?
Sorry. Sorry about that.
Okay.
No, you guys have not. But as Kes takes the lead in the distance, you see a tall figure on a kind of a small, long, or a low profile, longer canoe, standing with a long stick, just kind of moving down the river slowly.
Are they?
Or the swamp. They're actually going towards you guys.
Are they green?
No, they're actually a little taller than human.
Taller than human.
Just, we're talking like in the 6s.
They're more human than
decent range.
Yeah, that was where I was going.
Are they wearing a flannel?
Hey, fuck you.
Is the bottom of their canoe littered with cigarette butts and 5-hour cans?
I clean up after myself. What?
Do we
Holy
hear the?
shit! Where did
do
that
we
personal
hear-
attack come from?
Do we hear the rustling of Three Musketeers and Rice
Ooh.
Krispie bar wrappers in the
Fuck.
wind?
Guys, so brutal an attack on me
Nobody is
From-
talking about himself
from
a
the
lot.
fucking pine cone eater and the fucking old dude. You're talking to me. Yeah, I eat a little poison when I deep fry it. What of it? Yeah, my pubes are gray. What? Fuck off.
No,
I don't know what I did to you motherfuckers. You guys targeted me. You guys chose the wrong fucking one.
Oh, gee, I don't know.
About
Could
to
it be
go.
the 18 months of streaming and being called the old guy all the time? I don't know.
I didn't name you. Motherfucker, you named your guy Harry Old Man. Dick, trying to put this on me. See, I'm getting hit with these trumped up charges.
Oh, shit.
All right, so
God.
they see us and they're heading towards us.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah. They actually, you see a hand come up and actually wave at you guys.
I'll raise a hand and wave back at them and stop where I'm at.
Eventually, is the boat. It's a hooded figure. Gloved hands, holes in them, cracked leather, wet.
Why do I think this is Dr. Midnight?
Just out here,
Wouldn't that be
alligator farming.
Would that be amazing if it was Dr. Midnight on a canoe?
So he's like, strange place to find travelers walking through.
We were looking, well, we're looking for a couple things. You fishing out here?
No. He kind of pauses for a second, looks at the bottom of the canoe, and there's a long wrapped body shaped thing in the bottom of the canoe.
Oh.
He looks back at you guys. I'm looking for a necromancer. A cleric got too happy and killed my wife again.
Again?
Yeah, 2 times. Keep up, man.
He nods. You see the just kind of the cloak nod and hold on. And he kind of a jaw falls out. He catches it and he puts it back up and reattaches it to his face and a bone jaw.
You might want to have that looked at. That's
he just kind of, you see a shrug. That's why the necromancer. My name is Obadon.
Nice to meet you.
yes.
Nice.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It's
It's
Obadon Milosevic. Sorry.
it's odd to see warm bellies out this way.
We were we heard there was a trader out here somewhere.
Oh, Marion. Yes. He's about a couple hours north. I passed him about an hour ago. He was heading north. I was heading south. He said to look out for a friend of ours, but I don't see him. I have not seen him yet.
Talk about hawks.
Ah, yes. Small hawks.
Mhm.
Interesting. Interesting hawks. How's his sister?
Still dead.
She serves a great soup, though.
Ah, I wish I could taste Hawks' soup. It sounds delicious when he talks about it.
Yeah, just never mind the serving ware.
Well, he doesn't have a
Dave-
tongue. That's what he's getting.
Yeah.
David, can I
Ah,
can I tell what type of undead this guy is?
Sure.
the friendly kind, I hope.
Do you want me to roll something?
From the bone you saw, there's a guess of a possible living skeleton. But if you want to roll either like a religion or an intelligence check, I guess, Arcana too. I mean, you're not sure how much past living living skeleton or something he is or awakened.
I want to investigate check him. Is that
17
That's fun.
religion.
All right. He's not a lich. That much you can tell. But he seems to be an actual awakened, like living skeleton.
I wanted to try to determine how old he is.
All right.
Roll an investigation on it. 22.
The age of his clothes are definitely they've seen better days. He's probably had them for at least a decade or more. Without getting an actual true glimpse of his bones in the
Well, I
under
saw
the
his
cloak.
jaw.
The jaw,
So you're talking about whether or not there's any flesh left on it.
no,
So
there's
not
no real flesh left on him.
Are the teeth, are they loosened? Are they like falling out?
Somewhat.
Okay.
He really doesn't have any use for the teeth.
How about on the edges where they would touch the other part of the skull? Would they have worn down?
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, you can probably. I mean, it's definitely an older adult male's skeleton.
plus minus 100 years.
If it was living, you'd probably be able to guess around 50s. If it was a actual living body.
Right.
But the skeleton's definitely been moving for at least 100.
Okay. So you've been around these parts for a while, I take it.
Only been in the swamp for the last 60. I came after the fields of Concord. It's he points back past you guys. The mass graves of the when Aslan put down the resistance of Concord.
Right. We should ask him about the shield.
Would you like a ride up through the swamp to Marin?
Would that be something you'd be willing to do? I would hate to put you out of your way.
I'm afraid that if you guys came from Hawks and have not seen a necromancer, then I really doubt there's one south of Hawks.
Interesting.
Okay.
Hawks isn't well taught in the arts of the dead. He likes to play with living things.
Well, then, what do you guys say?
Well, if it keeps me from stepping through any more rib cages, yeah. I think getting back onto a boat for the first time in a couple of days is not a bad idea.
Do you guys still have the fish?
We do.
Yeah, we do.
So Hawks gave the toll.
Yeah, for
Delaria.
Old lady Delaria.
Yep.
Rachel's really struggling with that 0.5.
So that'll be good. We'll pass her on the way to. We'll probably pass her to get to Marion.
Okay. So, David, I have an item on my person that gives me protection from evil and good for fiends and undead. So I don't know if that's going to make Obadon uncomfortable, but
it just gives you protection. It doesn't do anything to him, right?
Well, if he were to attack me, he would have disadvantage attacking me.
Oh, okay. You're just notify me in case I'm setting a trap.
Maybe. I also cannot be
specific.
I cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Also, don't sleep.
Protection of evil.
So,
I mean, the only thing she didn't do was cast Death Ward this morning.
I did cast Death Ward this morning. I cast it right now in the canoe. I sit down, take off my backpack, and I cast Death Ward.
He kind of gives you the same look that other people give you when you put a seatbelt on their car and they act like they're insulted about their driving.
I do not care. I don't care what you think.
So, does everyone get in the boat?
Yeah, I'm gonna make
Okay.
sure not to bump his bride.
Yeah.
He gives you a kind gesture of a bow and begins to move. So, what brings the three of you to the swamplands?
Well, we really just want to kind of get to know the land. See, we've been here for so long, we just forget to travel and just really experience. It's like we feel like tourists in our own home.
You're not from Darkon.
No.
I'm from Dargon.
Mm,
I'm with
for a
him.
time.
I grew up here.
You did not.
I did.
I might be older than you, young elf.
I'm
I
quite.
think I've been
I'm quite
dead
old.
longer than you've been alive.
How long have you been dead?
150 years.
Oh,
young.
barely. Barely.
You're both young.
And I spent 60 years alive as a man before that.
All right. That doesn't change that I grew up in Dargon.
You know what? Nothing.
So you
can
must
change
know
that,
the
'cause
elven
it
settlements.
Didn't happen.
So you must know the elven settlements.
There's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of elves here.
No. When you get to the settlements, there are.
David, has Kestrel heard of elven settlements?
There have been rumors of them in Darkon. Let me get out my notes of the
If
old
you
world.
were injured in an elven accident, we can help you get your elven settlement. Send a raven to 1-800-999-9999.
He won't sleep until justice has been served.
Okay. Yep.
We
You have
only
in the
billable 20 hours
Mistlands.
a day.
The Mistlands in the northeast.
Okay.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I will say I've heard of them. I haven't visited them.
Not really a fond place for humans in my time. I avoided them. I actually need to stop this throwing motion in real life. I was trying to get in character. I'm sitting here realizing I'm alone in my living room rowing. I'm like, fuck.
Not only that, but you're not on camera right now,
You're
so
not
not even
even-
us can see it. Yeah.
No.
Bo's gonna walk in and go, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I'm tired. All right. So I almost did it again. So that was helping keep character. No. So Obadon continues the boat down. He's like, so what about the other two? What lands do you hail from?
Well, I'm not originally from around here, but I guess I've been an inhabitant of the realm for about, let's call it 20 years now almost. I come from I guess
And
a faraway
down
land.
under-
uh, but no, I've made the seas around, around the realm my home for the last 2 decades. I think young Kevin here has a much more interesting story.
You're soul of the water.
Yes, in more ways than one.
What other ways?
You know the other way.
So
Oh, right. Oh, shit.
takes the long shot.
Sorry, I just tune that out sometimes.
Kid Kavir is like just spilling secrets constantly.
He's a kid. He's not put together.
Yeah.
So
Like, hold on. Just the way I always try to think about Kavir is that he's kind of like his faculties aren't capable of keeping up with the knowledge. Like he's not able to reach out and grasp all of the parts of himself. So like where he would normally play a person, like talk to them and try to coerce them and be on their side, this is just absolutely incapable of doing that. Like with the fucking constables, just incapable of fucking being not an asshole. It's like his default stance. So it's just close to the surface, and so that's what happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, I didn't say he was a shark anyway, so I wasn't spilling anything.
Yeah.
He said,
No, yeah, but I mean, yeah, no, I wasn't necessarily going to spill that either. I figured that's something I'm going to play close to the vest.
And then Kid Kavir's like, what? I didn't tell him you're a shark. So you need I'm gonna kind of look down at Obadon's wife. Like you need like a animate sort of spell.
Mm-hmm. Almost kind of a little more permanent one.
Mm.
I have to pay. I have the stuff to pay for it this time. So
Well, you said a cleric got a little bit too happy. Was this in Fog Hut, or where did your wife meet her second demise?
you guys are going to Fog Hut?
Well,
actually,
yeah, it's on our list of things
Well,
to do.
Warm bellies, you'll be safe there. Hawks warned you about the order, right? They killed his whole family.
That party left out.
Hawks, he'll talk to Kelsey, but Hawks doesn't like talking about Kelsey.
It's his sister.
Yeah.
He nods.
So
The Internal
what is
Order.
this? Yeah.
The Internal Order. An old religion of the realms. They've been here a long time. Aslan shut them down. It's nice to say that bastard's name aloud. Plus, the Kagrat aren't out here to kill you if you cross him. They don't like the swamp. Vampires and waterlogging just they don't like out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's redeeming quality then.
Plus, vampires are not normally much good against a zombie alligator.
I don't think anything's really great against a zombie alligator.
Probably not.
That's why you pay the toll.
Okay.
Good to know.
Good to know. I kind of lean over out of well, eyesight, I guess, is maybe a little bit of a stretch, but I kind of mouth the words to Kavir, the Internal Order ? Just to see if it's something he knows about or if that rings a bell.
History check. 19.
Fun fact for outside of game with the Internal Order, there's not actually much mention of it outside of a few people in the new book. To actually understand the Internal Order, you have to dive deep back into the old 3-5 lore to know what they were. The Internal Order actually, they use Nuvacha Springs, and they prophecies and they follow things. Well, which you guys wouldn't know from actually, there's some things that's been happening recently with them that you guys wouldn't truly know, but it was one of the older, from what Kavir's readings would have told him, it was one of the older religions of the land, prophecies about trying to heal the land and keep the land together. But the problem is they're also by any means necessary kind of order.
Oh, they're extremists.
Mm-hmm.
Historically speaking,
So
not.
They kind of made Brendan's order look like a cakewalk.
Oh.
So we're talking about super zealots.
Yeah, they could be fanatical at times.
Beware the Turbo Pope.
That Aslan crushed most of the religion in the land. So the ones that are out now have surfaced after Aslan's departure, which means they're trying to build momentum.
Mm-hmm.
That's dangerous.
They sense a void and they're
Yeah.
there to fill it. All right.
Right.
So it sounds like we should keep on our toes when we get to Fog Hut.
I'm so happy that we were able to avoid a backstory for me. I'm so happy that we were somehow able to just pivot and not have to do that.
So Obadon tries to keep conversation going, just random bits about different things, and for the next about hour or so, as you guys see a smoke in the distance, kind of coming from a smokestack, and you see a small hut in the distance. There's actually a slight current at this part of the swamp with the moving water, and as you guys approach the hut, you can actually see a wheel on the one side moving with the water.
Hmm.
You guys are. He begins to pull up slowly to the hut. The hut's kind of by itself. There's a tree. Actually, if you guys give me a second,
So it's like a mill.
I will send you guys something. Not saying it's gonna spawn anything, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know how I knew Rachel wouldn't have laughed at that. I saw two smiley faces on it. And I'm like, I'm just gonna check, but I'm pretty certain Rachel didn't laugh at that. And I clicked on it and I was like, yep. Yep. She's not gonna be part of this whole charade.
Nope.
okay, I'm making sure it clears as it goes through.
People only say charade when it's like in like being derogatory to you.
Yeah.
You know, they say charade when they're positive and charade when
I think it's just because they wanted to be fancy about it.
Come on. It's sitting at that last bit. Okay, there we go.
So we pull up in the front, yeah.
You see that if you're looking at the map, there's that stream that kind of comes around the front from the left or from the right side. You guys are coming towards that way.
So
Okay.
kind of across that log and in between, like south of the red tree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, and I have this map saved, and we will release it when the game gets released, so they can see what you guys are looking at
Okay.
if they want to.
Mm-hmm. Join that
I
Look
love
at what we are looking at.
Yep. Join
Join
Patreon.
that Patreon. Look at that map. Send us money.
Want to see maps, motherfucker?
I love that new mapping software.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
So the crazy shit. This is the top-down view. When I'm building it, I get to see from I can move it from the angles and actually see inside.
Oh, nice.
So,
We should start an OnlyFans page for just the maps, and we could call it fap to map.
So as you guys approach, there is a chair on the bank. You see an old woman's kind of just sitting there, rocking back and forth. You guys see a cage kind of sitting in the water off to the right, almost like a kennel cage, but it's just empty, sitting in the water. To the bottom of the map, you guys see an actual well, a stone well, up on the ground, out of the water.
Okay.
And then the old woman kind of looks over and raises her hand, and her eyes kind of peek up and, "Hey, Obadon. It's been a while. Like an hour." He nods and, "Yeah, Delaria. Just passing through. They have the toll." He
Hi.
motions to the fish. She looks over. "Ah, pretty young people.
Thank you.
Welcome.
She was talking to me.
Ah, it's been a while since I've seen living people. Omadon's nice, but this conversation's lacking life."
Oh. Hello.
No pun intended. Yeah. Here's your toll, by the way.
"Ah, thank you. Figor will be happy.
Who's that?
My pet."
You have a dog?
Alligator.
No. She kind of pets her sleeve, and moves her arm forward, and the sleeve extends out and reaches to the boat, and a mouth forms and grabs the fish and drags them back slowly.
Oh,
Oh, there's something you don't see every day.
Good figure. She pats her jacket again, and it begins to slip off her and onto the floor, and she's still sitting there in a cardigan under what looked to be a sweater. And now this thing, as you can tell, is actually a mimic eating the fish.
ah.
Huh.
Oberon looks over. She raises mimics.
She raises them. So that means there's more than one.
I wouldn't step off the boat.
Way ahead of you there, Obadon.
Noted.
Way ahead of you there.
Hawks didn't tell you?
He did not.
He left that bit out.
Yeah, that was
It-
he buried
it's-
the lead.
Not on purpose. Hawks is Hawks is a gentle soul, trapped in a world that he shouldn't have been. He still misses his 3 moons. He'll stay up on his little spot and look at the sky, hoping to see moons, and never gets past the fog layer.
Oh.
She's like, the dearies don't want to stay for tea.
We've
I
got
don't know.
a-
Let's be going.
Yeah.
We've got
I-
a schedule to keep.
I have a feeling T would be having us if we stayed here. So
She nods and she reaches down once it's finished the fish, and it comes back on her arm and reforms back to the sweater, and she just begins to rock in her chair again.
Have you seen what's his name? Marion?
Ah, the goblin.
Yeah.
Yes, I told him north would be safe. If you go east, you'll run into the red caps. I believe they're hunting this morning.
Ah,
red caps.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've interacted with them a few times.
little,
Gnomes.
they're like garden gnomes with bloody caps and large sickles.
Ah,
You can kick the shit out of them, apparently.
And they kick the shit out of you.
They do. They are a kicky folk.
good to.
I never understood
to
why that
know.
group of them like to mow the swamp in those metal boots. Half the time they get stuck. They've lost quite a few to the gators because they won't pay the toll. But you'll be fine. My pets won't bother you guys.
Thank you.
It was very nice to meet you, ma'am.
Is there anything else going on that you can tell us about?
For some reason you look familiar and I don't know why.
Me?
You. Maybe I heard you in a song. I
Why
don't know.
not? I don't think so.
What's your name, child?
People call me Kestrel.
Kestrel.
It's
Too
short
bad.
for Kesselgard Reskel.
The Monster Slayer?
Some people call me that.
That's where I must have known you from.
Did I kill a monster for you?
No. Just a song.
A song?
A song.
Nobody. Oh, one person sings songs about me. I'm surprised you'd hear it out here.
Some bards make their way this way. Some don't. Some have gifts.
Well, they're usually more trouble than they're worth.
out of curiosity, how long ago did you hear this song?
Maybe 5 years? Maybe.
Yeah, I met her then, so about that time.
Maybe.
Kabir's arms are folded super tight. like folded and like really close to his core, and his like shoulders are raised real high.
Does the
Mhm.
young man want a cinnamon stick?
No, thank you, ma'am. We
He
really
might-
must be going.
He might like that. Might.
Come on, Kevin. Don't turn down the cinnamon stick. from the
Cavities.
nice
I
lady.
have cavities. I need to watch what I eat.
I can go in and get you the stick if you want.
No,
Do you
no,
have
thank
a
you, ma'am.
sugar-free cinnamon stick?
No, ma'am. No, thank you, ma'am. We should probably go.
Why would you want sugar free? Life is
We are
short.
super
Rotten
late.
teeth.
For something that we have to be.
But if you have rotten teeth, honey, I have a potion for that.
I think I'll be fine. I am using a fluoride strip system. We should go.
Ah. Oh, Badon, it seems that your passengers just want to move on. Nobody likes to stay.
It's
Oh,
not
Badon
that,
just
ma'am.
shrugs.
It's not that.
It's just that we're really in a hurry.
Oh, Badon, any luck with the necromancer? He's like, no. You know what you should seek? You shouldn't seek that grumpy one. You should seek that boy that was here about a
What
year
boy?
ago.
I'm sorry,
Hmm?
what boy?
Well, more of a young man came through.
Dark hair?
Yes.
About yay high?
Mm-hmm. He sailed over. Her hand goes up over the swamps.
Did he? Did he now? Would
He
you
had a
say that?
living skeleton too, like Obadon. All he talked about was the skeleton. All he talked about was the Dark Lady.
Interesting. Do you know what direction he went?
Kestrel just sighs really heavily and really annoyed.
Well, I'm pretty sure he went east towards the desert.
East. Good to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago was this?
I saw him a year at least.
Hmm.
He went. His crew wouldn't get off the boat. He did. He had a darkness to him.
The boat. When you say boat, do you mean in the air?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
An airboat.
Would ship be the right word?
Ship would be the right word.
Hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna look at Rain and be like, an airboat.
The man had a darkness to him. It was, but I think he dabbled in blood magic.
Probably.
No, there was electric in the air around him, and there was a girl with him. Pierce that could kill.
Say again.
There was a young lady with him that her gaze would like, if she could kill you with her gaze, it seemed like it would pierce your soul. Luckily, I'm an old woman that's not easily unsettled, but
My
that
thing.
that one was unsettling.
And what did she look like?
Bright red hair, short, up in a braid. Mainly wore leathers with a lot of knives.
Bright red, you say?
Like fire.
Mid-20s?
She was older than him. She was older than him. Yes, but not older than any of you. Except you. She points to you. But she looks at you. Hold on a second.
They really have to be going.
My eyes are. She rubs her eye, and you just see the whole eye turn around completely, and it turns yellow for a second. She looks at you. Then she rubs it again, and it pops back. You're an interesting one, dearie.
Lots of people say that about me. Still nice to hear.
But as you say, you must go. Do not let me keep you from your schedule.
Why, thank you, ma'am. It was very nice to stop by. I'm gonna like do my spinny finger, like kind of like you're like, hurry up, let's go, let's rock and roll, right to the guy on the boat.
Odadon begins rowing slowly with the stick, just pushing the boat forward.
When as soon as
Nice meeting you.
You too, dearies. You have a good day. Especially you, you tall drink of water. Yes, you.
Oh. Thank you.
She seemed pleased with herself.
Whoa.
Well, I do have that effect on people. What can I say?
I hate mimics. I hate them. They are unnerving.
Yeah,
true.
I think I think everybody pretty much generally feels that way, except maybe for her for some reason, which is weird. But
Kavir is like has a thing about them. He does not like them.
You don't like the fact that something can pull the wool over your eyes, huh?
Well, no, it's like you're never comfortable, right?
Yeah.
You're never certain, and like when you're not thinking about them, they might surprise you once in a while. But when you are thinking about them, it's all you can think about.
Yeah,
that's the problem. They'll put you off your game.
Yep. So, Kevin, this floating house of yours seems to be getting around.
Yeah, that's what it's designed to do.
Yeah, but I seems like it was designed to do that with you on it. Not
that was sort of the point. Yeah, that's in the original blueprints. Yeah,
sounds like you know everyone who's on it.
I do.
So the young man's your assistant. I guess he's taken on a romantic interest, apprentice.
You shut your mouth. I'm just gonna sit down where I'm sitting. Not in this universe.
I love that, Nate. I love that, Nate. Cannon. I'm kidding.
I kind of look back at Kestrel. This is like I touched a nerve there a little bit.
Seemed like it.
Some kind of weird love triangle, I guess. I don't know. Well,
as the canoe
romantic subplot begins.
As the canoe begins to go down the river with the brooding teenager in the back with his arms crossed. You guys do see a kind of a slight skiff barge, almost like a giant raft, sail in the middle of it, barrels and boxes on it, and you see a few goblins on it. They're just kind of moored in the middle of a swamp. Obadon points over. Marion.
Great. I'll call out and be like, hello.
Whoa! What is that? Obadon, what'd you catch? They look a little alive. You might want to throw them back.
Thank you.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
Welcome to Maren's Goods on the Swamp.
This is like Florida. This place is like Florida. It's just bogs, swamps, and fucking creepy old ladies out in a cabin in the middle of the bog, and then
gators,
some fucking redneck on a fucking airboat, one of those fan boats. Hey man, gotta throw them back. They're still too young, man. Come on.
All of a sudden, we've injected Boomhauer into our game somehow.
Man, I just sludge up. I just eating the mud off the bottom of the lake, man. Just put a little garlic butter on it. You know what I'm saying?
It's just Matthew McConaughey at double speed.
Ain't nothing but Tom does nothing but a flat circle. Put a little garlic butter on it.
All right. Okay. So Obadon's like, he brings it to a stop. Marion, Hawks' friends. Marion. He's like, well, about time you guys reach. Oh Lord, by the gods! You survived. You survived the old woman.
Well, yeah,
We
we
did.
paid the toll.
Yeah.
That witch.
She's got a favorite among us though, and then I'm gonna elbow rain.
Oh,
Don't
she
put
didn't
that
give you
evil
any
on me.
potions, did she?
She tried to fix his cavities.
She
Trying
didn't
to
give
fix
you
your
like any
cavities from
potions
what
for
it
your.
seemed like.
He puts up 2 of his 3 fingers or 4 fingers and like for health in like parentheses.
Well, that's what she said. But
She's known for giving out what she calls love potions. She didn't give you one of those, did she?
No, she did try to give us a cinnamon stick, though. But now I'm wondering if that was a euphemism for
It
something.
was a metaphor. It was a metaphor. She's trying to give you the old cinnamon stick. But
Trying to give me the-
but can Nate see why kids love cinnamon stick? Edit.
Trying to give me the old nutmeg.
Put Matt Gates on the box.
Oh God. So he's like, but no, Hawk said you guys were looking for supplies. How can I help you?
Well,
Eggs.
he wants eggs.
I got eggs. Yeah, I got eggs. Hold on.
How many eggs?
Well, we raided the Hag's chicken coop this morning, so I got about 2 dozen.
Okay.
I'll
Chicken
take
eggs.
all of them.
Well, yeah, if you go east, you
Mhm.
dodge the red caps, and then there's the old hag, the old hag tower. And she has a set of chickens outside, and
Yeah.
well, they don't have their eggs this morning.
When you say hag, are you just sort of being insulting, or are you talking about actual hags?
He kind of looks at you quietly. How much do you know of the swamp?
Thank you so much for listening to Return to Ravenloft, a Freelance Heroism podcast. If you'd like to support us more, check us out on patreon.com/freelance_heroism and just donate any amount. We have prizes and journal entries and art that we post regularly a few times a week, and we'd really appreciate any support you could give us. Thank you.
Our cast includes Rachel Moore as Kesselgard Reskill, Dees Cassius as Master Kavir, Nathan Lett as Captain Rain Trichet, and David, aka D-Walk, as Dr. Midnight, and everyone else in the game. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next week.
The invoice is in the mail. I think one of my favorite things in the world to do is describe something completely disgusting, in the most verbose way possible.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like anyone could be like, I took a big poop, and I'd be like, gross.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say it, I'm like, you ever seen like ground beef in one of those like
Ew.
plastic,
Ew.
like a cookie dough tin?
No.
Like a cookie dough thing where like you cut the metal crimp off at the edge, and then you have to squeeze it out like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're so gross.
I know it's like has that solid form that kind of.
God.
One time I pooped, so it was so wide that when I flushed it, it didn't go down. It just stuck in the pipe, and then the center sucked out through the middle like a Pringles can. It was gross. It's disgusting.
You're gross.
It's like if you ever tried to like flush a milkshake that's been like frozen.
No,
like that.
No. Why would anyone do that?
Just came out like you ever do the balls, like poop balls, like a pool ball almost.
A pool
like
ball?
hard and they're like solid.
If you're pooping pool balls, you need to go see a doctor.
It's like you emptied one of those tubes of tennis balls into the blub, blub, blub. You know,
Gross.
I wrote numbers on them, and when I flush, I use it like the lottery.
Gross. Oh my god.
Yeah. Round and round they go. Where it lands, nobody knows.